Hello everybody, this is your boy, the Almighty Green Talents, coming to you with a video. But before I get right into it, don't forget to comment, like, share, and subscribe this video or the channel for that matter. And most importantly, don't forget to comment after you have viewed the video. And please don't forget to smash the like because that gets the video circulated all social media and YouTube land. Thank you very much for subbing my channel. And to the ones who have not subbed it and watching my videos without the sub of the channel, please go back and sub it and view all content to your enjoy and pleasure. Thank you very much. And now let's get right to the video. Okay, excuse me. You guys have already heard AJ Brown yesterday. He made his debut speech to the Philadelphia media, and he said what he had to say to make things correct, which is what he did. And some of the things he said I liked, and majority of things he did say I did like. So he gets much kudos for what he has said and what he had to do to make the situation right, or better yet, how they always say, to right the ship. And that's what he did. Issues with the coaching staff is still there. There's no ring around the collar on that situation, but I do know that some things need to be changed before the Eagles play at MetLife Stadium against the New York Giants, because it's a Giants team that's coming in with some animosity, or better yet, some frustration, because they lost last week against the LA Rams, that are a playoff potential team. They lost to them last week, even though they had the ability to win, because they didn't play with the quarterback who was their quarterback. Instead, they used Tyrod Taylor, who is a veteran quarterback who's singing at about every defense there is, and he know how to he know how to run and get the ball out of his hands in a hurry. And so. And then he played last week, week before that, against the Philadelphia Eagles in Philly, after the other quarterback got benched. So he played pretty well and almost led the Eagles to almost led the Giants to a comeback victory against us. So that's two tries, the Giants had the ability to come back and win games. So we got to be weary of them and what the possibility of what they're gonna do offensively. I hate that we had to play the team the second time in 3 games, even though we lost the game against the Cardinals, which should have been a win to begin with. And that was a big, major hiccup, because the Cowboys beat Detroit, and there's a controversy in that game, according from what I've heard. The Detroit Lions, if the Detroit Lions had won that football game, they would have had number 2 seed. They would have. But the Cowboys beat them, and the Cowboys put them in the 4th seed. Now the Eagles have lost. Now they're 5th seed, and Detroit Lions are 3rd seed, while the Cowboys sit number 2. So you have to look at all of those situations and the possibility of us trying to get back up top of the NFC East, because the Cowboys lead the East now with a margin of victory over us. So opportunity was ruined there. But the thing now is, what can we do to right the ship and get into the playoffs on a hot streak? Well, that starts with a big victory over New York. And what I mean by big victory, I mean the Eagles want to figure out some way to stop the bleeding on defense. Yeah, I said it. Stop the bleeding on defense, which means linebackers need to make tackles. Do not put Morrow in zone coverage, because Morrow is not a zone coverage linebacker. The man can't color work the shit. He's more of a downhill tackler. That is what Morrow is. Cunningham, if he gets back, Cunningham is a zone coverage linebacker, because he has the ability to tackle in space, which is something Morrow is not. Shaq Leonard is also, he is a pure off-ball linebacker. He has the ability to make tackles in space. He can blitz, and he has the ability to also make the initial tackle. Defensive backs. Now, the situation with Slay, not exactly sure, but they say he had a limited practice this week after coming back from having the knee scoped a couple of weeks ago. Now, question is, will he start? We don't know. Cunningham was also had an injury. He was limited practice. Will he come back? We don't know. Now, let's get to the defensive backfield. Like I mentioned, the situation we play, we don't know. Last week, Bradbury was benched in place of Eli Ricks. Eli Ricks held his own. Did well, but he did allow a few pass plays here and there, but he did well. Signet Brown did real well in his start. The man took a 99-yard interception return for a touchdown, which was his first of his career. And this guy has starting potential. I mean, he has the ability to play the safety position. He has the ability to play the free safety position. That will be his position going into next season when he gets ready to have his second year as a starter. Bayard. Now, so far, Bayard hasn't proved worthy of the pick given the Eagles have gave to the Titans for his initial services. He has not proven that so far, but he has one interception this season against the Cowboys. Let me see who else we need to talk about. Avonte Maddox. Again, went out with another injury after coming back last Sunday, going out with another injury. He was gone for almost a month and a half. He came back and went out again. Question is, will he play? There is so much things on defense the Eagles need to figure out fast, because when you got limited body to work with versus so many bodies to go against, and it doesn't work out very well. Now, the defensive line. Carter, he has hit the wall. He is not used to playing 17-game stretch. The guy only played 12 games in his career as a college football player coming to the NFL. He shouldn't have had that many snaps for a rookie player, because your body gets worn down, your legs ain't the same as they once were after you rushing. He has 5.5 sacks, I believe, for the season. Will he win the Defensive Rookie of the Year? I don't know, because Derek Witherspoon, the Seattle Seahawks first-round pick, is right behind him. Jordan Davis, number 90. He did real well early in the season. He only had 2.5 sacks. And since then, him and Carter both have slowed down. They have not been given the initial push up the middle. And then when you leave Cox to have more snaps than them, because he has to back up those two guys because of the situation that those two are in. And then they've been putting BG and are also in the middle of the defensive line, because BG can play inside and outside. You got two veterans now. Two veterans. Those guys shouldn't be getting probably no more than 8 or 9 snaps a game. But we know the situation with that. And I just explained it. Josh Sweat has only 6.5, probably 7 sacks. He hasn't had a sack in a month because teams have been chipping him, double teaming him, and there's no rush in the middle of the field. And that's one of the reasons why when you don't have nobody to pressure the middle of the field where they can command double teams, you leave Josh Sweat one-on-one to initially dodge the hit to get to the quarterback. But when you're gonna push in the middle, they can lead a guard and a center to block 1-on-1 with Jalen Carter and put 2 on Josh Sweat. That has been this case. That's why he haven't had no sack in a month and a half, or a month for that matter. Man, and then you got other players on the defensive line that have tried their best to get to the quarterback and have been unsuccessful in the last 3 games. They did get a sack in the Giants game, but it doesn't matter when you don't win. They had no sack against the Cardinals game. That was a loss. They didn't have a sack in the Seattle game. I believe that was a loss. So you got to look at 2 of 3 games the Eagles have played, no sacks. None whatsoever. Then you got to look at number 7 himself, Haason Reddick. He's the only player on this team with the most sacks. I think he has 11 or 12 sacks of the season. He's a Pro Bowler for the first time in his career. It was just announced. He's a Pro Bowler for the first time in his career. That's about all that I can say. Now, offense. Oh, yeah, offense. Offensive line, they need to protect better. They really need to. Because Hurts has not seen a clean pocket in quite some time. The last game against the Cardinals, he got sacked, I think, 3 times in this game. And those 2 sacks in the last portion of the fourth quarter were covered sacks. Because he covered sacks. He had no one to throw the ball to because his receivers were either covered or the plays were slowly developing or the opposing team knew where he was going to go with the football. Better protection need to be on the offensive line. They need to run the football. DeAndre Swift, 1,000-yard rush for the first time in his career. He's a Pro Bowler. It was just announced. They need to run the ball more in this Giants game. Got to run the football more. And I hope in this game against the New York Giants in MetLife, they get back to that. Because teams need to know what the Eagles can do offensively instead of letting Hurts drop back into 3 or 4 step drop backs and get the ball out. Because once the ball is not out of his hands, he's prone to either fumbling the football, throwing an interception, or getting sacks for loss. Smitty, a.k.a. Slim Reaper, a.k.a. Skinny Batman, got hurt in that game against the Cardinals. Ankle injury. Had him in a walking boot. Word is now that he's no longer in the walking boot. They say he's running around on the field. Practice limited. Is he good to go? We won't know until Saturday when the last injury report comes out. A.J. Brown. Now, this is a guy who had 1,400 yards receiving after he only had 3 or 4 touchdowns of his season. Had not had a touchdown play in the past month. You know why? Because teams have been reading Hurts' hands, reading his play. And when you get to Hurts, the ball is not getting out. The ball either on the sideline or it's a fumble, or it's a sack like I mentioned in the video. Goddard only had 600 yards receiving this season, which is a career low for him because he's known having up to 700 yards or more receiving, and this year he's a Pro Bowl alternate. I'm going to say this, Hurts, brother, if the ball or if the play is not there, throw the football away. Try to avoid getting sacks, yards lost. Try not to get hurt. You just need a way to read defenses better. I hope the coaches bring back the read option. They did that last week against the Cardinals and in the Giants game. They had motion. Need to bring all that back, and the coaches do not need to get out to none of those plays. They need to do motion on every play that is called. Every play that is called, they do motion. I think if you do motion, that will keep Hurts from getting sacked. He'll be able to get the ball out, and he'll be able to run the football with more effectiveness without getting hit in the backfield, of course. Overall, this team needs to wake up. They need to realize what's at stake, because now you're a 5th seed. You have lost the initiative to be a 2nd or 3rd seed. You lost the initiative to be the NFC East champs. You have lost the initiative to even have a 1st round bye. All that went to waste last week against the Cardinals. A lot of this Cardinals game still is bothersome to me and to most Eagle fans and content creators alike, because the problem is still there. These issues need to be rectified right away before any playoff game for the Eagles begin. We cannot be going into the playoffs on the road against any team with all these animosities going against one another, because I think it's more than what A.J. Brown is saying. I think it's more to than that. The problem is eternal. Not eternal, but internal, which means within the organization. And it starts with the echelon of the team. And that is Lurie, Dan Smalley, who a lot of fans, who a lot of East contents have forgotten about. Dan Smalley, and start with Howie Roseman. Those are your 3 top-notch guys in the front office. And start with them. I'm not exactly sure what the future holds, because I'm going to say this. If these issues are not fixed before the playoffs begin, or if we get a 1st round exit, and I mean the 1st round exit being a bad and a horrible 1st round exit, a lot of these players on this team ain't going to want to come back. And then you got other teams who gonna have free agency ain't going to want to come here, because they ain't going to want to deal with the animosity that's going on in the front office. I wouldn't want to deal with either. It makes you wonder, will they come or will they don't come? Because it is so much stuff to even talk about, think about, and to consider before coming to Philadelphia. This stranglehold of coaches with their own mindset to bring in their own defensive coordinator, offensive coordinator, their own coaches, that needs to stop. You got a lot of teams in the NFL, I hate to say it, even Dallas Cowboys, let their coaches be themselves. They don't interfere. Jerry Jones don't even interfere. I mean, that's bad for me to say. You would think Jerry Jones will be the main interferer, but he doesn't. You can take it back at 2003 when the Eagles hired what was that coach name? I can't forget that dude's name. They hired him. He's a defensive mastermind. They hired him back in 2003. He told Jerry Jones, "Do not interfere in nothing," and Jerry Jones didn't. Jerry Jones let him be him. He let him be him. I forgot the coach name, but he used to coach he coached the New York Jets, he coached the New England Patriots, and he coached the Giants to the Giants' first 2 Super Bowls. That's the coach I'm talking about. If you guys can think about what his name is, but I forgot his name. But I hope I think about it somewhere in the video before the video comes to an end. But yeah, so you gotta look at then you gotta look at the New England Patriots. Kraft don't even interfere in there. And you look at the New York Jets now. The New York Jets don't interfere in personnel problems. Howie Roseman, Jeffrey Lurie, and Dan Snyder are the only 3 people in that top organization that interferes with coaching decisions, and they shouldn't have. They let the coaches be themselves. The last coach the Eagles had to be themselves was Doug Peterson. But before Doug Peterson was Chip Kelly, because Chip Kelly had his own mindset, and then Andy Reid had his own mindset. Those were the last 3 coaches the Eagles have had that had their own mindset of coach they wanted to bring in. Now Andy Reid demise was he has had quite a few of coaches to leave personnel people to leave his coaching staff for other coaching opportunities. We could take it back at Leslie Frazier, the coach that the Eagles got, the coach that the Chiefs got now, I forgot his name, the defensive coordinator, Spagnuolo. But Spagnuolo left to become, Spagnuolo was a defensive assistant, but he went to New York Giants to be the defensive coordinator. And he coached the New York Giants to 2 Super Bowls. 2 Super Bowls. 2. So he had 2 championships, and he got 2 with the Kansas City Chiefs as an assistant. And he left New York Giants to become the coach of the LA Rams. Coached the Rams for 3 losing seasons, and that was the end of him. And then he went back to I think he went back to the New York Giants, I believe, as a defensive coordinator, and then went back to Kansas City, which is where he currently stands. So that's a prime example of letting coaches be themselves. We are the only organization that interferes with coaching decisions, coaching personnel. Howie Roseman needs to stick to one thing on it, and that's contracts, free agents, and the NFL draft. That's all he needs to stay with. That's all he needs to do. Stay away from personnel, coaching personnel decisions. Stay away from coaching personnel decisions. Get out of that. Let that be. So this video is going to end because I've already gone over 23 minutes of this video. I'll try to make it shorter than 20 minutes, but it has exceeded far than what I wanted to exceed. So then go and end it right now. This is not a key to victory. I stopped doing that 3 games ago. The last time I did a key to victory was against the what was it? It was either Dallas or might have been Seattle. I think it was Seattle. I think Seattle was the last time I did a key to victory, I believe. Or might have been Dallas. In one of those 2 games. I've never been 2 or 3 games I didn't do a key to victory too. So this is not a key to victory. Not at all. Because I really don't know how far this New York Giants game is going to go. I don't know. Will I watch it? That remains to be seen. But man, I don't know if I can end this video in a high note after what has been witnessed in this team's situations of playing football and losing by blowing leads. I really don't know what to say. But I will. But I'm gonna go and do this it though. Today is Thursday. Yeah, it's Thursday. So you guys out there, is it Thursday? Yeah, I'm right. Today is Thursday. So you guys out there enjoy your day. Another video is coming in the near future, but it won't be Friday. Too many things to do. So I am out of here. Peace, family, and have a good rest of the remaining week. I'm out of here.